was in a long-term relationship with a girl who at the start I really adored. She was just so alive. That's the best way I could describe her. She was kind of like a big ball of light, really kind, really caring, just put her whole heart into everything. When I introduced her to my friends, even they could see it, that she was a good fit because of her huge heart. I needed that. I'm a bit of a big feelings person, and it was nice to have someone who had space to hold mine. Something happened nearly a year in, and I just lost all feelings for her, and I thought she had stopped being the person I loved. She started to get quiet, sort of more, I don't know, it was like this mature edge came into her, like she was just tired and watching everything happen. I started to find her grating and annoying. When she walked into the house, there was no confidence in her. She was almost like a cardboard cut out of herself. I thought, yeah, I'm done with you. The love is gone. So one night, I just flat out told her it's over. It ruined her. I thought I would feel this relief. The pressure of having to pretend to love her would be gone. It would all feel great because I would be free. But I didn't. Sometimes, yeah, but most of the time, not at all. A little after the breakup, she wrote me a letter to know what she had been feeling towards the end. That she had known it was coming and was trying so hard to take pressure off me so that I could come back to center. That she stopped making offers and started holding back because I had been rejecting her over and over again, and she realized she was triggering a desire to control in me, and she wasn't sure of the origins. Maybe I was aware it had been a year and my commitment phobia was rising to the surface. Maybe it was my issues with addiction. I have been dealing with this for a long time. She has known right from the start and been very supportive. Maybe it was because there was so much happening at work and I was feeling pulled by everyone everywhere. Then towards the end, she had started asking me to meet some of her needs. Could we go out and do something fun? Could we hang out and go on a walk? Could she make me dinner so we could connect? And I just read it as her being needy. In the letter, she addressed how she had felt and why she had been behaving that way and that she was sorry. The letter shocked me because she was right. The shit I was hating in her was this compliance. She was giving me all the power and that came with pressure. She was so shut down. And I realized throughout the relationship she had asked me not to do that to her. She had communicated that she was feeling a little trapped and undervalued and was making suggestions to help her not feel that. She was checking in with me to make sure my mental health was good. She would always ask if there was something different she could do to meet my needs. I felt like an asshole. But instead of taking it on board, I just flipped it back on her. I was so mad. Not at her, she nailed it, but at me for being this way. So over a phone call, I made out that she was a needy and uncommunicative person. I pulled apart all of her arguments. I pushed so hard for it to be on her. She didn't fight me. She apologized for that and acknowledged the pressure it would have put me under. She asked if we could try again. I said no. I don't know why I just felt so mad at her for figuring it out. I felt like it was a trap, and she was going to reel me back in and force me to be accountable. I know how stupid that is. She was giving me the chance to grow, and I didn't want it. I wanted to retreat. I could see all the time she had tried to tell me what she was experiencing. I could see all of her effort. It made me feel like shit. I had treated her so badly. I cried every day for a week. Sometimes because I missed her. Sometimes because I was mad at myself. Sometimes because I felt so out of control. Then, one night she came over to grab some of her stuff and sat down next to me on the bed and just explained that she was pulling straight out of my life. She couldn't do friends, she couldn't do acquaintances. If I was done then, she needed to let herself be that too. She still loved me, but knew it would hurt her to keep showing up in my life because she would always be hoping I would take her back. I told her that I was starting to wonder if the breakup was the right thing. Surprisingly, she wouldn't let me go there. She looked me straight in the face and said, "You made a choice, and I believe you when you tell me you thought about it. This is me giving you the space you want to take power back over your life." There she was. The girl I feel in love with. She was so sure when she said it, and it was said with a heart of just love. No malice, just love. I cried. I couldn't stop myself. Then she cried. We spoke for a few more hours. We spoke about recovery and what that might look like for me. We spoke about my fear of commitment and why I run. We spoke about what needing control can mean. She just listened, questioned, listened. Never fought to be the fixer. Never said then, let's try again. She just listened to me. All of this shit I could have said months ago. She told me she was proud of me for trying to deal with all of the stuff I had going on. She told me about all the support she had got on the outside to help. While we were together, she had been seeing a counselor that dealt with addiction to help her help me. She laid out the relationship from start to finish, not in a cruel way, but just letting me know that everything I thought I was hiding, she had seen it, and she had tried, but understood that sometimes she ruined things by helping the wrong way, and she was sorry. We held each other for ages. I kept thinking, fuck. She saw me, this whole relationship. She didn't run. She stayed. She loved me. She wanted the best for me. Why did I go cold on you, girl? You would have done anything for me. You saw the good in me. Why can't I let you love me? Why did I want to leave you? Then she got up and said she had to go, kissed me on the head, and wished me all the best, told me she did not hate me at all, and would always be rooting for me and my success. And that's it. She's gone. It's been a little while now. I still cry a lot. I miss her like crazy. But I also think I do have to do this on my own for a bit and figure out why I acted the way I did. I'm seeing a therapist soon. I've cut back on my drinking. I'm hitting the gym. Sometimes I see her around. There are days where I really want her back. I still don't know if dumped her because that's my pattern, or if because my gut knew it wouldn't work long term. I guess this is where I start just doing the work. I don't know why I am telling you all this other than if you can see yourself in this, or if you can feel yourself doing the same thing, check yourself. Go get help. You owe it to yourself and the people who love you. They do want the best for you, and you need to put the work in to be the best for them too. If you have a person in your life who stays even on your worst days and gets in the mud with you and holds space for you, don't lose it. Don't let your heart go cold on them. Do the work. And if she reads this, I am sorry. You deserve the world. I hope the next guy who comes along sees that and treats you right. I 23M and my ex 23F had been together for a year and few months. We were great together and never had any big issues. Then mid of deck 2023, our dynamic suddenly changed. I was caught off guard that she was crying over how she was losing herself, how unhappy she was, and kept on telling me that I was enough and didn't do anything wrong, but she was having issues herself. So I tried my best to help her, to win her back and fix our relationship. She agreed, but she was 1 foot in and one of the relationship. She didn't give in much effort and was pessimistic the whole time. We never had any major fights, it was all so sudden. There were times I kept on blaming myself for my previous shortcomings, but looking at it now, I don't believe those lapses were that bad to result into a breakup. A little voice inside of me, whispering at the back of my head, a familiar gut-wrenching thought that my now ex had somebody new. I shrugged the thought off. BC, I trusted her, and I was damn sure that she wouldn't do me dirty. Jan 2024, the relationship ended. It was quite a decent breakup, but boy did it hurt Suo fucking bad. She was crying too, but kept on insisting that she doesn't want to continue the relationship anymore. I asked if ever she healed herself in the future, would there be a chance for us to try? But she firmly insisted that it's never gonna happen. I was so confused. I was mad and sad. It was a mix of all emotions. During the month of January, she sent messages about her upcoming graduation, sent a famous quote from the movie Love, Rosie. No matter where you are, or what you're doing, or who you're with, I will always honestly, truly, completely love you. Then insisted that we shouldn't communicate further and we'll never get together again. This made me even more confused. I feel like I was getting played. Jan 29/30th, we had another interaction, and she told me to stop and let her live her life. I apologized for reaching out, but then she suddenly sent this message saying, "You know, if I were to be honest, I've hit rock bottom. I haven't been well since we broke up. I'd say that my mind is fucked the entire month trying to deal with this. Trying to figure out how to do life without UBC plans before we're all laid out with you. Now I don't know how to start again, how to pick myself up. Now I'm trying my best to navigate my way out of this, so stop." I didn't know how to react. I didn't know if I should win her back, or should I just let her be BC? What was I supposed to do? The information, right? Now, first few days of Feb 2024, she messaged out of the blue asking me if she can have her stuff she left at our house. All I know was she left her speaker and a frame, so in my head, I wasn't sure how to interpret this. BC, those things weren't much of important things, so I thought she was reaching out to make amends. Oh boy, was I so wrong. We had a conversation, and she told me that she's already dating someone new. That this new guy helped her in healing and loving herself in ways she didn't were possible. That now she is in peace and in a better place. I was surprised. BC, it had been just a month when we broke up, and we had interactions along the way. How can you say just literally a week ago that you hit rock bottom, and now suddenly you're healed? She was justifying that a month is long enough, and that healing has nothing to do with time. I honestly wanted to get mad, but I just wished her well and cut her off. It's funny how she tried to justify this, but yeah, maybe you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor, Jay. I remember how you were always saying back then how you despise cheaters, but look at you now. Damn the hypocrisy and irony. I know I will take time to heal and get over the betrayal. At least I didn't use nor depended my healing process on somebody else. At 25F and my boyfriend of 12 years recently broke up, and I'm having a very hard time to process the breakup. It hasn't been a bad breakup or anything, rather the opposite, where we've ride together for several hours and where we held each other. For context, him and I have had a very rough patch because I am a university student that just about finished all courses, meaning I don't have to go to uni anymore and I also work. He, on the other hand, just started his master last year in fall and is also working, and due to that, we both have been stressed to the max. The thing now is he has had commitment issues ever since we started dating and was also very open about it, and if times got tough, he always endured the anxiety caused by the relationship. But because he didn't get better this time, usually those time only lasted about 1 month at the longest, this time it's been over 2 months, we broke up. It was me that asked if it would help him if we called it quits. After he said he does think it might help him, we took our time, but we rarely said it's over, maybe 3 times in 4H, and I'm starting to absolutely regret asking him. Also, one of his best friends said that he's sad about it, but doesn't regret the breakup. He has always been loving and respectful, and we never once had a big fight or anything. So I'm really struggling to get over everything, and I'm thinking of asking him to try again, but I'm scared to push him further away by asking that. We did agree on staying friends, but I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't know why I've come to Reddit with my issues, but I just need some form of distraction, and any tips, kind honest words would be appreciated. I 39F have been supporting my 37M partner over the past year while he has been out of work. He moved in with me last spring. He had a job interview last October with a former employer. There were 3 stages to the process, and after the second, he was informed the third was just a formality. He had the job. A few days after that interview, I got back after work to find he had left. His belongings and car were gone, and there was a note on my bed. The note said he couldn't explain at the time why he had to go, said something unexpected had come up. I was confused at first. I tried calling and found he had blocked my number and blocked me on WhatsApp and social media. I then got upset. I emailed him, and he replied a few days later blaming me as I had uncertainties about us early on after he lied to me initially about his financial situation. Then 2 weeks later, he emails to say he felt his decision was hasty and wanted to give things another go. He moved back in a week or so after that. But a few days after that, he informed me that while he had been away, he had booked a flight to Thailand and arranged to stay at a convent for 2 months, something he had always wanted to do. He got the money for that from selling one of the 2 cars he had just before he left in Oct. Was a bit shocked he blew that money so quick. I had lent him £500 a few months before. I knew he was having difficulties getting over his mother's death 2 years ago. He had lived with her for several years after his dad had died. His coping mechanisms made communication difficult at times. I accepted he was going away and supported him. At this time, he was still awaiting the delayed 3rd interview for his job. He had that interview and was given a Jan start date. He then went away to Thailand, and he couldn't have any contact while at the convent, so that was hard. He came back on deck 22nd. We had a nice Christmas together. He didn't unblock me from social media, however. He spoke again of plans to have a family with me, that he really wanted this. A few weeks ago, he became distant, and he admitted that but got agitated when I tried to talk to him about it. His start date for his job had been put back to this week. A week ago, we went shopping for groceries, and he didn't want to put any in his boot, said it was full. I later noticed he had cleared out what he had in my shed. Also, some items of his in a cupboard and from drawers in the bedroom were gone. He had also decanted various food items into small jars placed in a cupboard in the kitchen. Last time he left, he took many food items. I have been paying for the food, and he didn't make any contribution to bills. I asked him about what I had noticed, and he got agitated, said he had plans to move some stuff he no longer needed to his brother's place where he has stuff stored. On Weds, a day before his new job was due to start, I saw him briefly before I went into work. He would usually be at the gym at that time, but he had a medical appointment to get a mole looked at that he said had been moved forwards to 0830. We chatted and kissed, and I went to work. I got back from work to find him gone and my number and WhatsApp blocked again. A brief note said that my questioning this week confirmed his suspicion. I didn't trust him, and this is why he left. I had been worried he would leave again given what I noticed this week. I think it's understandable I would be. His job is in another city. He planned to commute at first, and we were going to move in together there later this spring when my current work contract ends. I have been applying for work where we plan to move to. I was open to discussing other arrangements, such as him moving out sooner and us spending weekends together. When I brought this up, he said he just wanted to settle into the job first. I emailed him a few times since he left on Weds, but had no response. I guess this is it. I love him and planned a life with him. We have a lot in common. I could barely eat or sleep for 2 days after he left. I ate a bit yesterday and slept a bit better last night. I am having to work this weekend to catch up for time lost during the week. I did my best to work, but my productivity was reduced. I feel sick and would like to resume our relationship, but I feel all hope is probably lost at this point. I keep thinking about what more I could have done to show my affection. While we shared a bed and hugged and kissed, we never actually slept together. He would keep making excuses not to have sex. He was paranoid about getting me pregnant before we planned to start a family, said condoms could split. We plan to start a family very soon, however. Any advice would be appreciated. I 26 female can't help but feel like I'm doing something wrong. I go on dates, meet someone I think is great, and then it only lasts a few months before it ends. I'm the common denominator in these relationships, so it's got to be something I'm doing. In my last relationship, I felt like we really clicked. It was only a few months again, but I'm honestly questioning if I love him because I've never felt this way before, especially so soon. We ended because he thought it was the right thing to do as we had some disagreements over boundaries, but I don't think it was the right thing to do at all. He went from saying he wanted to be with me one day, then changing his mind overnight and ending things the next day. I keep waiting for him to come back and change his mind, but he hasn't, and it's been over a month now, but I really don't feel like we're over or we've come to the end of us. I can't tell if it's one of those meant-to-be situations or if I'm actually deluded. I feel so empty. He is the first thing I think about in the morning, and my stomach drops because I know he doesn't want to be with me anymore, all before I even open my eyes. I'm currently in no contact as he's made it clear he doesn't want to be with me. The thought of him going on dates and seeing other women makes me feel sick, and I just want to move on, but I can't. We were so sexually compatible and out there, and I felt so comfortable and safe with him. I worry I'll never find that with another person. I'm sick of being made to feel like I'm always asking for too much when I'm only asking for basic respect. Am I not even worth that? I just want to be treated the same way I treat them.